Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Insalt, episode 353. My name is Wade. I'm here, as always, with Ches.
How's it going, everybody?
And the U.S. bronze medalist of sound, Kurt Wallstrom.
Oh, shit. Oh, I unmuted the wrong channel. I deserve the bronze.
It actually made the joke work. Yeah, thanks for that. That's the best when bits go unplanned and still work out perfectly. And then we've got a special, I guess we could say, guest host today. You've been on the show in the past before, but James Allen is here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, he has one of the rare titles of this podcast after 352 episodes, one of 2 episodes, I think, that we've ever had to take down.
That is true.
We'll just leave it at that. If you want to go back and listen to that episode, you can.
Yeah, it's no longer there.
I don't even remember what episode number it was. I still have it. It's just turned off. It's not published. And I think we had talked about it. That, like, I bet now it doesn't matter because the stuff we talked about back then, like, was kind of not really released yet with a certain
and it was all
venue.
And it was all predictions, too.
Yeah.
That happened to actually come true.
Yeah. But it was kind of cool that everybody at the highest echelon of that venue had to listen to our podcast. But that was pretty fun. But they were super nice about it, you know?
Yeah.
No big deal. And plus, like, I think you were getting a promotion at that time, too. So I was like, yeah, dude, I can 100% take it down for you.
But if anybody out there had previously downloaded it, they'll still have it.
Yeah. Probably not anymore. It's been a while.
Well, if they downloaded it, then it's on their if it's on their device.
I think by the time we took it down, there was like only 20 people had listened to it or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. Because I want to say it was like episode like 153 or something like that.
That far back?
Or 170.
I could probably log in and find it, but it'll take me a second.
Yeah.
This is the first, man, exclusive release of international information on the Weekly Insult today.
Yeah.
Russia is planning to release the cancer vaccine to collapse the American healthcare system. Just let that sink in for a minute.
Which cancer?
They didn't say. They just said that Russia has a cancer vaccine.
Oh, the vaccine that causes cancer?
Yeah, I guess so. Either that or it causes California.
Yeah.
I mean, cancer isn't one umbrella here. I mean, there's hundreds of different cancers.
I was reading this. Like, it came up just on, like, you know, on your phone. I don't know, on Samsung anyway. You can, like, swipe to the left, and then it gives you, like, an overview of, like, news articles that they think you're interested in. They're kind of like a For You page on TikTok, but for, like, just shit that Google wants to show you. That was one of them. And I think it's because all the bullshit I've looked up on my phone for this show, it just throws me random things like that. And the whole article, like, it had to be, like, 3 pages of just how Russia has always had the vaccine for cancer, and, like, America has too. We've just never released it because cancer creates so much money for the healthcare system that they're just going to release it, and then now everybody can be cured of cancer. Which is really going to hurt WebMD's symptom checker, I'll tell you that much.
Because everything points back to cancer.
Everything causes cancer. I thought that was interesting, though, to think that... And you know what I think is even crazier is there's people that probably read that, and they're like, I knew it. I knew it all along, dude. Ever since I was like 12 years old, I knew Russia had the vaccine for cancer. That's right.
Why Russia, of all places?
I think it was just like... It's just politically, like, more polarizing to say Russia, because Russia's fighting Ukraine and the United States never
I
gets
don't even
along.
think you could call it a vaccine, though.
The vaccine would mean that you'd have to get it, and then you no longer get cancer.
Well, I was reading
it's actually crazy.
I just looked it up, and they said it's actually not like a vaccine.
Okay,
it's
like a treatment,
like an mRNA.
Okay.
Thing that's supposed to help cure it.
So you
turns you into a Russian is what it does.
Yeah, if you've already got it. You've already got
turns
cancer.
you into a bear with a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sorry to all the Russians that don't listen. Let's see if I can find it. There's no way it was back episode 1 something, was it?
I'm pretty sure it's 100 and... I thought it was 150 something or 170
something. I should be able to see
something.
it pretty easily because it'll be one of the only 2 episodes that doesn't say published. Oh, here it is. Oh, no, this is the second episode that we had to pull down. That's episode 248 had to be pulled down.
Is that the one girl?
Yeah.
Yep.
I won't say her name, but she did OnlyFans and came on the podcast super willing to talk about it. And then 2 years later, applied at a bank and realized that when you Google her name, that her episode came up first. Which she was like, I don't think that's a very good look if I'm going to get this job at the bank. And I said, I think you're right. 274 was the episode that
274.
Yeah. I titled it really poorly too with what we talked about. I should have been very careful with that. Anyway, no bad things came from it. If anything, it's a funny story.
It is
to tell.
It's good.
But one thing that I think, because I mean, we can say where you work, right? They're not going to get mad about that. I don't think. You work with the Delta Center, and I think last time when we had John, the episode that got taken down, we didn't even have a hockey team then, man.
No, we did not.
Do you think people generally are pretty hyped up about the Mammoth? It feels like it to me.
Yeah, probably almost every game. I mean, we're probably 90% filled in the building.
Oh, that's cool. What's that compared to like Jazz games?
That's a world of difference.
Okay. Yeah, don't have to say numbers for anything really, but
especially now that the Jazz are tanking games to get a better draft pick.
Yeah, it's hard to keep fans inside the building.
Smart. Yeah,
they're not playing well.
That's kind of a tough thing.
It's a big different energy levels of fans and things like that. I mean, complaints you get from patrons and stuff like that is huge difference when you're from the hockey side point of view of fans versus like the Jazz side of point of view.
That's interesting. I mean, I think a lot of people in Utah, like growing up here my whole life, I remember the golden era, Stockton to Malone, dude, and like watching play against the Bulls and that 3-pointer, dude, and you're like, we might actually do it. And then, the closest you ever come doesn't happen. And then the next year it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So I think at this point, a lot of the Jazz fans are like, yeah, I think I'll go watch some hockey for a little while.
No, seriously. I mean, it's true. I mean, even though they just made some good trades, they're going to be expected to play probably pretty well next year.
Good.
So
good.
Hopefully that brings back more full stadiums and crowds and stuff like that into the arena.
Well, I think the Delta Center has always done a really good job too of like giving putting Jazz tickets for sale at an appropriate price. Like the Jazz games always seem fairly affordable, like especially if you don't mind not being super upfront or whatever.
Yep, and they got cool programs too. Like they got like this special menu now that you can order from in their arena. You get like $2 hot dogs and $2 drinks and stuff like that. $3. It's either $2 or $3. I can't remember, but
like sodas and stuff. Obviously not $2 beer.
Yeah, definitely not on
losing some money on that.
But you can get like a package like ticket, and you get those. You can shop on that menu, and that's strictly for Jazz games.
Because you can order your concessions from your phone now, right?
Yeah.
Of right from your seat. Do they bring it to you, or just go pick it up?
No, you go pick it up. Yeah.
I think that's way better, because I remember back in the day, like you'd have end of the quarter, dude. Let's run up there, and then there's a huge line because everybody's doing the same thing. Now, if you can just order it, then go grab it, I bet it goes way smoother.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Where you can pre-order on your phone or at a kiosk that we have now all over the buildings, because it's a cashless arena. So.
Yeah, I think we talked about that like last time too a little bit, but that's the way the world's going, cashless.
Yep.
If you carry cash now, it's almost like a burden. I have a buddy of mine that's only cash, and everywhere we go, they're like, "Can I get a card for your tab?" He's like, "I don't have any cards." Like, they gotta go ask like a manager, like, "He doesn't have a card. Can we still?"
I do gotta say, Kurt came in clutch with the cash yesterday.
Yeah, we basically highway robbed Kurt yesterday at the bowling alley, man. So we went bowling yesterday with James and his kids and stuff, and we got there and we went over to the bar and let's have a drink while we wait, because it's Saturday, a bunch of birthday parties going on, so we had to wait for a lane to open up. So we had a beer, and then we went out to the lane, and I had a tab open, and then I looked on my phone, and my card had been run when we got our lane, and I was like, oh, did he transfer it or did he just run it? And I think he just closed it out because we moved from the bar to the bowling alley, so it's different waiter. And so I'm like, hey, man, Kurt, you got $5 or something so I can at least give that guy a tip, because now I feel bad because he just closed it out and I never tipped him anything. He's like, yeah, sure. And then I'll let you finish your side of the story.
And at the end of the night, we were cashing out of like buying pizza and drinks and the whole nine or whatever. And I went to go enter like $10 on the tip, and I hit $1 and hit enter, and it processed it faster than it clicked through. And I didn't realize it until I asked for the receipt. Thank goodness I did ask for the receipt because she wasn't going to bring me one. And then I noticed it was only $1 tip on there. So then I asked Kurt for more
Kurt,
cash.
You got any more cash? Are you sore today from bowling?
No,
not either. Like I told you earlier, I'm just sore from your children. Like, whenever somebody else is around, they always want to be attention and stuff. It's cute. That was fun though, man. When's the last time you've been bowling, Chaz?
It's been the last year.
Okay, so not too long.
Yeah. We went for a work activity.
Okay.
Went bowling one day, so
That's awesome.
It seems to be the go-to work thing.
yeah.
Which makes sense. Along the same lines, though, talking about the Mammoth, they got that awesome training facility they've been building out at South Towne. I drove by it the other day, and it's like bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Because I saw it when it was kind of just getting framed in, and now that it's done, I'm like, whoa, dude, that facility's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And now that's open to the public since Friday. And now they do open skates. You can rent skates now there.
That's a great idea to
for the
attach to
open
wall.
skate. And then they have 2 rinks side by side with a wall that divides the two. And then there's also bleacher stands kind of built on each side of the rink, basically. And you can go in and skate basically whenever the time slots are allowed. They do a lot of different activities. They do kids skates at a certain age. They do adults like 18 and older. They do little hockey games and stuff, like where the men's can just jump in and play a hockey game, or the women's.
That's cool.
Yeah, they do a bunch of different activities. They got a big screen TV on the wall, or projector screen. So they had the Olympics actually playing on the screen while open skate was happening.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you could kind of do that. And then they have office space, and then they are going to be building the new Utah Jazz practice facility attaching to that building.
Oh, so they're going to move that over there too.
So,
That's cool.
Yep. It's going to be on the east side of the building.
I forget where their current practice facility is. I think it's like kind of west of I-15 somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just off at 1300 South.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
The ZBBC Center.
Yeah.
But I believe the Millers, I think, still own that building.
Mm.
But I think they want to keep everything together for basketball and kind of make it a huge complex there. And maybe in the future they'll have, different basketball events and stuff there too.
Yeah, makes sense.
Kind of like the open skate.
Yeah.
And being connected to the mall and all that stuff, it's kind of unique.
Yeah, that is really cool. I mean, it's nice to have it open to the public too, because I'm sure that generates a little bit of extra income, and then also just lets people go in and take a look.
Yeah, and they do open practice now.
So you can go watch a practice?
You can go watch a practice.
Oh, that'd be way cool.
It's rare. It doesn't happen often, but they do have times for it. So that's kind of unique. And then obviously they have a whole other stuff that they're going to have there, a team store and stuff like that, where you'll be able to buy, jerseys and all that gear and stuff too. Yeah,
one thing that kind of was surprising to me is how much the merchandise costs. It's crazy how
yeah.
I think especially with the Mammoth, I think everybody was excited that we got a hockey team, and then so everybody wants to rep it now, people will pay tons of money to have a really nice authentic jersey, and then you do see those people walking around with the knockoff ones, and you're like, man, get out of here with that $30 jersey, bro.
It does happen.
Yeah, I mean that's very common with football jerseys. You'll
team
go to a
jersey.
bar and they'll be like, hey, you can win this jersy, and then you get it, you're like, what?
It'd be off color.
Yeah.
What is the Green Bay
Two
Packers?
shades
Why does
blue,
it just
too
say
light.
cheese on the back? Huh? The branding colors are just slightly different.
Yeah, speaking of that, because you brought up the Packers, it reminded me of the Chicago Bears. They are now moving out of Chicago.
Oh, where are they going to?
To Indiana.
Indiana.
I
Starts
did not know that.
Indiana Bears.
Does that mean you're changing your allegiance?
Probably not.
Okay. So it's not like you're allegiant to Chicago.
It's not the same, you know what I mean? The
It's
sound of it,
yeah. The Chicago
know.
Bears.
Yeah.
But it's
the Indiana Bears.
Yeah, I think they're still going to be Chicago, because it's going to be how like the New York Jets and Giants, they actually don't play in New York.
Yeah.
Because it's like 20 miles or something from Chicago is where this new facility is going to be.
Yeah, right across the border.
Yeah.
I think that there's been a big thing recently of NFL updating all their stadiums and stuff too. Because when we went to Nashville, they said the same thing, that like the Titans were going to get a new stadium.
Remodel.
I think they were building the whole new stadium in the parking lot, and then they'll tear down the old one and make it a parking lot. Isn't there a song about that?
Yeah.
Another thing, while we're on now, we're jumping between football and hockey, but man, if you guys have been watching the Olympics, I mean, where do we even start with this? Do we start with Canada cheating, or do we start with the fact that our hockey team won gold?
Yeah.
And the women's hockey team, both.
Against Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Maybe we were cheating. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that is cool. And I think, how many members on the Olympic team do we have on the Mammoth?
Well, I think 3 of them went to the Olympics. One of them joined his own country. I couldn't reflect what his name is, and I think he won bronze.
Okay.
Their team won bronze, I believe. And then I think there's 2 other Mammoth players that were on the USA team. I know one of them's Caitlin Keller, but I don't recall the second one. And he's our captain of the Mammoth team.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. And it's been like years since they won a gold, right? In hockey?
Yep. Yeah, 45 years, I think.
Yeah. That's
Miracle on Ice, so
Yeah, so it's
1980, I think is what it was.
Yeah, we're all scrambling to Google hockey facts. What was the Miracle on Ice? Like, why is it called the Miracle on Ice? Do you know? An ice hockey game during the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid.
So 4 players from the Mammoths played in the Olympics. Only 1 for the U.S., 1 for the Czech, 1 for Finland, and 1 for Germany.
That's what it was. Okay.
Oh, this is when we beat the
different
Soviet
countries.
Union. That makes sense. That's why it's a big deal. We beat Russia in the Miracle on Ice. Soviet Union back then.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I have to read more about that. I don't know much about that particular game, but I will tell you this one thing that's like weird side effect of this is like I've always kind of been slightly interested in hockey, but now that we have our own hockey team, it like
changes the game.
It makes it way cooler to like learn more about hockey and like watch that stuff and get to know like the players and stuff. Has anybody thrown an octopus on the ice yet?
Yes.
Okay.
One. That was last year.
Oh, really?
And
yes.
I can't remember what's the significance behind the octopus. It's
I don't know. It's some like that was their like thing of whatever the team. It's a Red Wings.
The Legend of the Octopus. Yeah, Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
Playoff tradition began in April 15th, 1952, when Pete and Jerry Gusmano tossed one onto the Olympia Stadium ice. The 8 arms symbolized the 8 wins then required to secure the Stanley Cup. That's kind of clever. I like that.
Yep. So we had one. I'm sure you could Google it.
How do you get an
Probably
octopus? Like, I guess you can pass those through a metal detector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
it was saran wrap to his chest.
Oh, okay, yeah,
to his body.
Yeah, which I mean, like, no matter what, people are always going to try and get around crap like that. But I just think it's funny that how far people are willing to go. Like, man, we can get this octopus.
What's crazy is like, he waited because he knew like if he threw it out early, right, then you get kicked out.
Yeah.
Right. And so he waited till almost near the end of the game.
Yeah.
There's only a couple minutes left on the clock. So, but from my understanding is that he removed it and then like set it down on the floor, like underneath his legs or whatever until the end, and then ended up throwing it out there. But it was alive when it hit the ice.
Wow.
So,
yeah, probably don't do that.
They scraped it up and put it in a bucket.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard that there's just a long-standing tradition of just throwing things onto the ice.
Well, I know if you're supposed to throw your hat when there's a hat trick.
Yeah.
Yep. They just got a hat trick a couple games ago, actually.
So.
Yeah, I think when I went to a couple of the Grizzly games a long time ago, they also had something where like they gave the crowd a bunch of, I think it was something with like a number on it, and you could throw that out on the ice, and then they'd randomly draw one for something. I think I remember it being. It might have been a charity thing though too.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I know they do a lot of times. They'll do like a teddy bear toss.
Yeah. That's kind of cool because, I mean, what other sport do you do that? And you don't throw stuff out on the basketball court. I'm sure people have. But.
Well,
yeah, that's against NBA policy.
Yeah.
What happens at the Waste Management Tour for the PGA on the 16th hole, which is always the same weekend of the Super Bowl? It's like if somebody gets a hole in one, everybody throws their beers on the onto the course.
Maybe we'll have to turn around because I kind of want to see a video of that.
Trying to see if I can find the photo of the octopus.
Yeah. I just think that's funny that they're like, that's just what these. I think it's even cooler that there's just two brothers that decided they were going to do it one time and it just became this legendary thing. Which, I mean, that's kind of like the thing about hockey that I like too is hockey, you still have fighting in hockey, which one of the coolest things I think that I've seen the Mammoth do is when there was that game they were playing. I don't know the teams or anything. I'm still learning all of that, but they basically all went up to face off. He dropped the puck and everybody just threw their gloves down and got in a big fight because I guess the game before they had checked one of the players or something and it was kind of dirty. And so they were like, we're fighting next time for sure. And then, the clock had 1 second gone and then they had to stop it because fighting, and then everybody gets penalized and
fight for fighting.
It moves on. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's also, I think, the cool thing is that you can do that if you really want to. But,
But then you got players that's their job. It's just to go and fight.
Yeah, they're like, you're in, dude. You see him, he checked the goalie, go get him. And you're like, all right.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with that because that's like, I think the rules are great because then you get the power play. Other team gets a power play because you're just sitting with a man down. And so now you've kind of got to defend for, 5 minutes or whatever?
Yeah, 5 minutes if it's for a fighting penalty.
Yeah. So then it's kind of like, you're taking a calculated risk to beat someone's ass.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm sure that dentist offices everywhere love hockey players. So it's a win-win,
Well, they don't love them until after their career's over, but...
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can lose teeth. There's a video of that one, I don't remember the guy, but he basically got hit in the face. Like, he went to go block a shot, and the puck bounced off his stick and hit him right in the mouth, and then he went like this, put his hand over his mouth, skated over to his bench, and handed his teeth to his coach, and just kept playing. Just like it's another day at work. Like, that's cool. I'll get him fixed later. That's crazy, man. I think the only
after the game, here's your teeth, bro.
Yeah, here's your teeth back. You probably go get those.
You should see the guy on the.
He gives you money USA like the Tooth Fairy.
The USA team had like half his teeth are missing right here, and they're all bloody in the photo right after they won.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
probably
it's like chipped in half. Like it's pretty gnarly.
Got hit by a puck or something.
Yeah, it looks nasty. They look sensitive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you look at the picture and you get the feeling of like, oh, I know that probably feels.
And then
like
you're
bad.
breathing in the cold air off the ice. I can imagine what that tooth feels like.
Yeah. Crazy. I think that hockey, like the only, one sport that's more brutal than that, I think would only be like rugby.
Actually, I think rugby's less brutal.
But rugby, it looks like they don't wear pads. They hit each other like full speed, man.
But they say it's, because the way they learn to hit and they learn to...
I guess that's true. Yeah. And in hockey, when you, sometimes when you're checking somebody, you're actually trying to inflict pain.
Yeah.
And some checks I've seen, it's like, holy shit, dude. I wouldn't get back up from that. And sometimes even the hockey players don't get back up from some of that stuff.
Yeah, I saw where one player, they actually had to cart him off... stretched him off, but he had to because of the wound, he had to be face down instead of on his back when they stretched him off.
Jeez. Well, yeah, congratulations to the U.S. hockey teams for winning. That's cool.
Yeah, both men and women's.
Yeah, and then I don't know what this whole curling thing is about, dude. This cheating thing. I get it, but it's kind of funny to me when you watch the video because you slide on the ice, then you release it, and then he just pushes it with his finger. But I think it's illegal to touch the stone after you release it anyway.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And I think the reason it became such a big deal is because the argument that went viral, that video of him being like, yeah, you cheating. He's like, I've never done that once ever. And he's like, I'll show you a video after the game. And then they show that clip of him actually cheating right then.
Well, then they were upset because they filmed it from that angle that caught him doing it.
I heard that they actually, I don't remember which team they were playing against.
I think it was Finland.
I think Finland actually set up a separate camera angle to check for that.
Yes, they did.
Too. So they actually had a suspicion that they were doing it. And I don't think that the Canadian team knew that other camera angle was there.
Yeah.
So, because if you look at the normal camera angle in curling, If you drop your hand down below, you can't see it.
Exactly. That's
because some people put their hand on the ice to help stabilize, and then he just like uses that one motion and gets away with an extra little nudge.
But apparently, it was the men and women's teams doing it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a video from the women's team doing the same.
Oh man. I guess at that level of competition, you're gonna probably take any edge you can get to win, right?
Exactly.
I just don't understand the point of like why pushing it after you just pushed it.
I think it's because like you release and then you realize like, oh shit, I should have given it a little more. Yeah, because then you let go and you realize how fast it's going, so and you give it a little extra.
Well, the handles are also they've got sensors in them to where you have to release it before that line.
Yeah, the green line or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you hold on to it before lights turn on the stone, basically saying this is an invalid stone.
Yeah.
So that way you can give that little extra push, if you're touching it from the granite.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So
yeah, and you probably like it tracks fouls. So if you put your hand back on it or something, it'll be like invalid. It'll
yeah. So like that's like, well, if we just push it on the granite with our finger, it won't pick it up.
Yeah. Why would you tell your competition about a new camera angle?
You wouldn't. Yeah,
I wouldn't. Because I would rather go for disqualification versus just calling you out for cheating.
100%.
Well, the thing is, though, they can't
or preventing you from cheating. I just go for disqualification.
They can't use because that's not an official camera angle, so they can't use that to disqualify them. But they can be like, "Look here, we've got you." So
makes it even better that they're like, "We caught you."
So then they're like, "Okay, well now you need to fix it because now everybody's gonna be watching this other angle."
Yep.
So, yeah, I saw that. They're like, there's nothing they could do. Yes, they've got the proof, but there was nothing that could be done because it's not official camera footage.
Yeah, and I think if you think about it, it's really interesting. There's a common theme here with the octopus and with other things is that people are going to do whatever they can to get around it. I think how in the NFL they always cover their mouths with their little card when they're talking, like most of the time they do.
Yeah.
There was one, I think a few reported cases where somebody would be watching the broadcast in the booth and could read the lips of what they're calling the play. And
Bill Belichick.
Then they could say, hey, they're playing this play, and so that's why they're like, now we got to cover up because same thing in baseball. They have the hand signals, because like you got to have some code, a way to communicate without letting the other team know.
Well, baseball now they're actually using
the mic earpiece
stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting too, which makes me wonder if you could just get the right frequency and hijack that earpiece frequency. Hey, don't get any ideas, you cheaters. There's
I'm sure they could at some point.
One baseball team player or worker is listening to this podcast somehow, and he's like, "Yo, I heard this on the weekly Insalt, dog."
Yeah.
Or somebody brings in like a wireless jammer, so they just can't communicate. Yeah, but people do that all the time. Lance Armstrong, man, like he's the one that everybody's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's using performance."
But that's only to the pitcher, though, right?
Yeah, I think it's
so like your base runners and stuff. You're gonna have to still do hand signals.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the base. A lot of I guess the base runners now are catching, watching the pitcher and catching him tipping his pitch.
Really?
So they can sense like, okay, this is going to be a fastball. This is going to be a slider.
Oh,
so then they
attention to their signs.
Yeah, they're catching and or how just the pitcher's setting up their glove.
Yeah,
and like their hand in the glove, and they're catching all of that, so they can tell which pitch they're going to throw, and then relaying it to the batter.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, geez.
But I mean, there's nothing illegal really about that. I mean, you can pick up their signal and give you an advantage.
Yeah,
it's
why
just
not
like,
do it?
In Vegas, it's not illegal to count cards as long as you're doing it. If you're just doing it yourself.
Yeah, they can still come up to you and say we don't want your business.
Exactly, they can. But there's nothing they can legally do against you if you're not, as long as you're not like relaying a signal or like using some like electronic device to keep track of everything. If you're doing it all in your mind, there's nothing they can do.
I just looked up like real world examples of cheating in sports. Obviously, the first one was like doping and performance enhancing. Like the Lance Armstrong's at the top of the list. Just because it's the most like widely publicized thing, I think. But there's some interesting one. The Black Sox scandal in the 1919 World Series. 8 players from the heavily favored Chicago White Sox accepted money from gamblers to intentionally lose the series. So, like, gambling plays a part in, like...
Shoeless Joe Jackson was one of them.
Yep.
And they say that he was caught up in it, but he probably shouldn't have been because he actually had, like, career highs during that game.
Yep. Tim Donaghy, the NBA referee, was involved in gambling ring from 2005 to 2007, betting on games he officiated and making calls that affected the point spread.
Oh, yeah, there's a huge one that's just come out with, like, a bunch of NBA
McGuire
stuff.
too?
I think so. This is AI, so it's...
No, Mark McGuire, he was just steroids. Pete Rose was betting on baseball as a manager.
Oh.
There's some really interesting ones for, like, technological and physical alterations. The Houston Astros sign stealing during their 2017 championship season and beyond. The Houston Astros used a camera system to illegally decode the opposing catcher's pitching signs.
Yeah.
And then relayed the information to batters by banging a trash can in the dugout.
Yeah.
Like,
interesting.
Going to that level to get just a slight advantage, you know, like... I mean, when that much money's on the line, that much fame's on the line, like, I can see how it would be tempting for a lot of people to be like, hey, man, I figured out the way we can get around this. Let's do that.
Well, yeah, and then...
especially when you're, like, you know, going to make a bunch of money.
I mean, just how fast you'd have to relay that, though. You know what I mean? Like, in the 4 seconds that they're adjusting his glove or whatever.
Yeah. And then maybe it didn't happen all the time, but, like, you even imagine this. If you, like, only decoded, like, just the fastball. And so you're like, we'll bang twice on the garbage can if it's a fastball. Yeah. And so you don't know, but then you get the fastball call and you're like, all right, I'm hitting this one.
I do kind of remember that, actually, because they showed video clips of that.
And that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, you'd hear that randomly in the background, like, bang, bang.
And then you got the Patriots with their Deflategate and Spygate.
I forgot about that.
The Patriots were spying on other teams' practices. And
let's see. What else is there?
Yep, we do close practices for the NBA, too.
Spain's Paralympic basketball team, the Spanish team that won the gold medal in intellectual disability basketball at the 2000 Sydney Paralympics, was found to have included 10 of 12 players who had no disabilities. That's like a kick. That's the lowest low you can go, dude.
Cheating in the Special Olympics.
We're going to go to the Special Olympics, but like 10 of you are going to be just fine, bro.
ADA people.
That's like
that's the lowest shit ever, man.
Have you seen that episode of South Park where Cartman decides he's going to go cheat at the Special Olympics and then just gets destroyed at everything?
Yep. Oh, geez. In 2001 Little League World Series, a dominant pitcher named Danny Almonte was revealed to be 14 years old, 2 years older than the 11 to 12 age limit due to a falsified birth certificate. Wild, bro.
That is wild.
Why is this 12-year-old 7 foot tall?
I swear he's 12. All right, well, should we take a break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're going to cheat on this podcast and take we're going to take a 30-minute break, but it's going to seem like 2 seconds to you. And we're back. We cheated you out of listening to us for that whole break. You don't even know how long it was. Yeah, now that we've read up on all our cheating, we're great at this. Yep. And then we're going to go get some 50% off sushi later. That's what we did talk about over break, is why do all sushi restaurants advertise 50% off? And then I Googled it, and it said, yeah, this is a well-known marketing tactic that usually just reflects the normal market price of it anyway. And I'm like, that's even more funny that they say 50% off and that we all just accept the fact that we know they're just lying about it.
Kind of like Black Friday.
Yeah. Well, Black Friday, total consumer holiday.
Whole other conversation.
Yeah, the only time you ever get anything for that fair market price is on Black Friday, when everything goes on sale for the price that it normally should be.
On sale.
Yeah,
it's just retail price.
Yeah, wasn't there like a website you could go to that would show you the price history of something, and it's like throughout the year the price will increase, and then on Black Friday it just drops to the same normal price it was like the beginning of the year?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Best Buy has Black Friday signs still up.
They're probably still doing Black Friday.
It's something to keep these doors open.
I'm surprised they haven't come up. Well, I was going to say, I'm surprised they haven't come up with some consumer holiday like on other times of the year other than just Christmas. But then you have Valentine's Day, which is a total consumer holiday. Dude, do you think there'd be many flower shops around if Valentine's Day didn't exist, bro?
I don't know.
The worst day of my life.
People must be getting blessed with flowers year round.
Well, yeah. I mean, funerals are a thing.
He said funerals. You're getting blessed with flowers because you're dead.
Yeah, man. Very common at funerals and weddings.
But I guess there's a lot of, the school dances, and you're doing all the different stuff that flowers
roses
and gifts.
are like a year-round thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, going to a flowers shop on Valentine's Day, dude, you might as well just kill yourself.
Yeah.
Plan
that sheet like a week in advance.
Yeah, especially because like day of, they probably mark it up anyway.
Yeah.
Like I remember getting like the last bouquet that I bought, I was like, what the hell, dude? That's $100 for this?
Yeah, like my kids, my daughters, they love flowers for some reason. And every time we go to the grocery store, they're wanting to, let's get flowers for mommy. Let's get flowers for
That's
mommy.
Cute, though. Yeah.
But mommy never keeps them alive, so I don't like spending money on them.
That is another funny thing about flowers is like you give somebody flowers, they're going to die.
Yeah.
Unless you give them like.
And I still bought some flowers for her, and then she put them in a vase, and then the kids knock over the vase, and then the water goes everywhere. All the food for the.
You're like, all I'm trying to do is something nice.
Now I'm pissed.
Yep. Man, see what flowers are tearing this country apart, man. That's what we should really be talking about, not politics.
How big flowers taking the company down.
Big flowers is the problem, dude.
We definitely detoured, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, we're a variety show, man. Yeah. We like to get the extreme variety here, which is why I'm going to go directly to Kurt. Hit us with some stuff.
Hit you with some stuff.
Yeah.
I was reading some news articles recently.
You don't do that.
I know. That's all I do, really. This one is, of course, everything's about money. Mm-hmm. Money. And this one probably has more of an effect on you, Wade, than anybody else, because you recently bought your truck.
Yes.
There was a lawsuit that happened. Basically, when you go buy a new car, you unknowingly sign up in all the paperwork that you sign when you buy your car from a dealership, that you sign up for like Toyota or Ford or whoever, whichever manufacturer, so the manufacturer receives telemetry data from your vehicle.
Yeah, the vehicle actually had a sticker on the navigation map that I had to peel off that warned me about that.
Yeah, so you unknowingly probably agreed to do that.
I knowingly agreed because the sticker was there.
Sure,
right? But like, I can't do anything about it.
No,
you didn't know where you signed for it.
Yeah, but what's going on?
One of those 30 fucking papers.
What's actually going on is how that information is broadcast, how it's transmitted is you'll attach your vehicle to your home Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to your phone, which then goes out your phone, and it makes its way over to the manufacturer for them to analyze that data to better their products or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, guess what the manufacturers are doing?
What?
They're selling that data.
Oh, no way. Because it's all about money.
Yeah.
And guess who they're selling it to?
Your insurance agent.
Your insurance companies.
Yeah, actually, so I can talk about my end of the experience with that. The Toyota Tacoma that I bought, you now get the Toyota app, right? And the app has can check.
Oh, for sure, they're sharing your shit.
100%, dude. Like anything new that you buy is like this. Any website you sign up for is like this. And even when they say, we won't sell your data, they probably will give your data to somebody who will sell it. Yeah. Because it's not. I guess it's probably not illegal to give your data.
So basically, what I'm getting to here is now your insurance companies are analyzing the same data, which they're able to determine if you're a shitty driver,
and that's just been a thing.
Increase your rates.
This has been a thing for a long time because, I think Geico did it where they said, if you're such a good driver, then we'll give you a discount as long as you plug this thing into your OBS port or whatever in your car. And then all that is
that.
It's a GPS tracker that sends all of your driving habits to the insurance company. And then so in my opinion, another reason why insurance is kind of a scam, because now they can change your rates before you even do anything. Like if I've never been in an accident, but they don't like that I go 5 miles an hour over the speed limit all the time, then they can just charge me for that.
Yeah, the lawsuit that I was reading about, there's a guy that he did a hard brake, and that got transmitted to his insurance company.
Yeah.
Yep. His insurance company raised his rates, and he's like, why the hell did I just get this huge increase in my rates? And they're like, because you're a shitty driver. And he's like, how are you even getting this information?
Yeah.
This is a joke. Women everywhere start panicking.
Well, and it's also like they want you to... all the insurance companies now want you to download their app.
Yeah.
You don't think that's judged?
Oh, 100%.
And then who's to say it's not like when you're riding in somebody else's car?
It is. It's all tracked. I mean,
Yeah.
So here's the information that I get. So I just pulled up the app with Progressive, and I had it on my car, and basically what they keep track of. I mean, I'm sure there's probably more than what they share with me, but so it tells me how long I drive for the duration of since you turn on the vehicle, and then until you turn it off again. And then it also will control like the hard brake that you just brought up. It will beep at you when you do a hard brake. And what the hard brake is calculated is if you stop, I think it was, I'm trying to remember, 7 miles an hour within
a certain
3 seconds or something like that. If your odometer drops, speedometer, drops. I think it was like 7 miles an hour within a certain amount of seconds. That's considered a hard brake, and then the device actually beeps at you. It'll be like, and you'll hear it.
Dude, I would throw that thing straight in the trash.
I mean,
so let me tell you on the
it shows the hard brake.
Yeah, you got one hard brake on there.
Yeah, you're screwed, bud.
So
and that has
let me tell you how it works with Toyota, because I didn't get to finish that, and it gets worse because like that's a Progressive, the insurance company's app, right?
Yeah.
When I bought my truck, you get the Toyota app, and you have to sign in with your ID, your radio ID, and everything, and link the two, the app and your radio, and then like. Brand new truck, they give you free trial of everything, right? So you just have all the bells and whistles for like the first 6 months, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and you're like, well, shit, I gotta go see what. I think if I were to sign up for everything that they want me to pay monthly for with the truck, it would be like $800 a year just to have like access to all the app features, right? One of them is specifically transmits like all of your diagnostic information to the dealership, including your mileage and everything, so that they can harass you when you need service. Before you even, they'll just like email you like, hey, your odometer's at this, it's time for this checkup. Kind of cool because it reminds you, but also that means they're getting all your information. Yep. And then one of the trials that I haven't signed up for since, it was the one that transmits all of your data to Toyota's insurance company. And so while you're driving, they just get it all, and then they would just send me mail like every day being like, you should sign up for Toyota insurance based on your driving habits and blah, blah. I'm like...
Oh, it's totally a marketing move for sure.
Oh, yeah. But they made it like very clear that everything you do in your car is basically tracked, and that's just the way it is. I mean, the only car that's not tracked is the 4Runner that I sold you, dude, from 1998, bro. And that's why it still works so good.
Yeah,
because there's not.
It's working great.
And a hard brake that could be a safety thing too. I mean, you being a safe driver.
Yeah, so slamming on your brakes like a kid running a ball coming out in the street or something.
Or someone else runs a red light and you got to
stop quick.
Yeah.
The biggest
to avoid
thing,
an accident.
Yeah,
now your rates are going to go up because you did that hard.
Because you avoided an accident.
Yeah,
you saved the insurance company money. Now they get to charge you more.
Yeah,
probably the most common hard brake that like I would run into following this report was like lights changing. Yellow, and then somebody doesn't want to go through it, and you think they are, and then they slam on their brakes, and then you have to, that kind of thing is usually your hard braking.
I think that's the only time. And well, I mean, I've been on like the freeway and traffic slows super quick, and you're just like that chain effect happens, and you're like, oh shit.
Well, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the app can read like if you're using your phone while driving.
Yeah.
And then when you have a hard brake happen, at the same time, like I'm pretty sure it keeps track of all that stuff.
I mean, I'm kind of fine with that because I think that a lot of people are on their phones too much when they're driving anyway. Like, I mean, I know that you've called me a bunch. Like, I can answer the phone from my truck, but usually if you call and I'm in my truck, I won't because I know it's like, it's just harder to hear, like it's say anything. So it's almost like I make a conscious decision like, oh, I don't need to know what's happening. I hear my phone, whatever. I'm going to be out of my car in 5 minutes. I'll just check then, But nowadays, people have those suction cups in their window, dude. I was behind a guy yesterday that had a movie playing. He had a full-on iPad attached to his thing with a movie playing, and he's sitting there. The light turns green. He's just watching his episode of Fallout or something. I'm like, go, dude. I thought those were illegal to have in the front anyway.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, the other part of this snapshot thing, too, is that they don't allow you to drive between the hours of 12 midnight to, I think it was 4 in the morning.
Okay.
That's against their policy.
Huh.
So that's another reason. So why I got rid of it.
Policy straight up your ugly ass.
The reason why I got rid of it is because it would contradict my schedule working at the arena late nights for concerts.
Yeah.
A lot of times I don't get out till midnight, and then the whole time I'm driving against my thing.
Yeah.
So,
and I bet if you got in an accident, they'd be like, you're not supposed to be driving anyway.
Yeah.
And they just deny that's.
But what's crazy is, it keeps track of all your driving time. And so like mine, it shows that I was in my car for 4 hours and 31 minutes all of last week.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think about, like how much time you spend in your vehicle.
Man, let's not get started on that, because then it brings up all these like PTSD things in my mind. Like, I've worked on computers my whole life. How much time have I wasted staring at progress bars? Just sitting there, and it's just stuck at 99 for 10 minutes.
Yep.
How much time have we wasted installing Windows?
Your actual time versus Microsoft minutes.
Yeah. It's got to be so much. I mean, it was kind of the same thing when your phone started doing that, like giving you the weekly report. Here's how much time you're on your phone. And you look at your phone time, and you're like, I didn't think I was on my phone that much. That's crazy. But I think it gets even worse too, because I looked into those flock cameras more, and I think we talked about it on a previous episode that like you could get into those really easily, and like they're just like all these flock cameras are appearing everywhere. And a lot of times they don't change the like default passwords. So like if you get on the internet, you do a particular Google search, and you know the default username and password, you can just log into flock cameras and look at everybody that it's tracking. And it gets even worse because there's a guy, I was watching this video, a guy really dug into it, and not only do the flock cameras remember who you are, when it takes a picture of you, it remembers you, and then it can take a picture of you at another flock camera and know that you were from there, you went to here. And then from there you went to here. So those blue flashing lights in the sky, wherever you're driving around, they can basically trace your route like that you took all day. Not that it really matters because your phone's already doing that.
Yeah.
If you've ever looked at your Google timeline, either be prepared to be scared or don't look at it. Just ignore it, because ignorance is bliss sometimes. But like, yeah, if I pull up my Google timeline, it will tell me everywhere that I drove yesterday and exactly what time and where.
That's kind of wild.
I mean...
But I got rid of the
I
device.
bet you even have a Google timeline. Yeah,
that's the end of my conclusion.
But and then you have to kind of like, this is a really good topic to bring up, because then you have to make like a decision, right? Because do you want to have the latest and greatest new stuff? Because it is pretty convenient, but you also have to like just admit that you're going to be tracked, and who knows what they can use that data for, right? Like, let's say that they don't like you hard braking, like obviously super hard's bad, but like, if you're just riding your brake the whole time to slow down over the course of like 1,000 yards, are you just wearing your brakes down more? So then is it just collusion with the braking company to buy more brake pads? Yeah. Who knows, man?
Yep.
Hey, it does change your habits on how to drive, though.
Money.
And I think that's the shittier thing about getting older, is like you just get constant reminders that the entire world doesn't give a shit about human beings. It just gives a shit about money.
Yep.
And like you're looking at everything like, I mean, we counted it one night, and you can't watch it. And this isn't a diss, because the world works this way. It's in every sport, but I'll just use basketball, for example. If you're watching a Jazz game at like any given time, there's like 40 advertisements on the screen.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like advertisements on the court,
They're
on the
everywhere.
hoop, on the, like in the stands, and that's just the way it is. I mean, same thing at a football game or a basketball game. I mean, the Super Bowl lives off of ad money, dude.
Yep. I mean, even like the sponsorships and stuff that now when you watch on TV, it's all just an image that you can only see through your TV versus like being inside the arena.
Yeah.
A lot of the actual images aren't existent.
Yeah.
So
they just project them because they know the perspective of the camera, and they can just...
You've been on Facebook recently? Holy hell.
No, I try not to get on there.
What's Facebook?
Yeah, the place is just nothing but advertising now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's all it is. I mean, I go through some posts, and I had an ad pop up for like a ring.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, that's a cool looking ring. So I clicked on it. That's all I'm getting.
That's all.
Now.
Yeah.
Just nonstop buy rings.
Yeah, so what
from Shaneco.
What I've been doing lately is just clicking on it. And I don't even like care, but I'll just like Reddit does the same thing. You'll scroll through like 2 or 3 posts, and there'll be an ad for something, and scroll, there'll be ad for something. And so what I started doing is just clicking on the ads that I want to see, and now that's all I get. And I'm like, oh, that new video game's coming out. Sick. I'll go check that out. And I'll go look at it. It links me directly to Steam, so I can buy it right away if I feel like it. And then half the time I just look at it, I'm like, whatever. But I'd rather see a bunch of ads for games than like, I don't know, Blue Chew.
Buy now.
You can't get away from that stuff.
Yeah, you can. It's everywhere, man. And I mean, that's the reality. When we worked in advertising, we had what was called a golden lead. And that was basically you knew a person on this list of thousands of people already wanted to buy this item, and you just have to market it correctly to get them to buy it, right? And that was like companies would pay thousands of dollars for the golden lead. And so the whole thing in advertising was to get into the customer's mind, know what you want to buy before you want to buy it, and then have your client market that to them so you take your business to them. And if you can prove that model, dude, you'd be rich, man, if you had a way of doing that. And I'm sure it's advanced a lot since I worked in advertising, so it's probably only gotten way worse, you know. Especially they can track you everywhere. They're like, oh yeah, you know, Kurt eats Arby's like 3 times a month. They're once every 3 months. So the third month that you normally would go get Arby's, you start seeing a bunch of Arby's ads. You're like, damn, I haven't had Arby's in a minute. Yeah. I remember we got in this argument when Laura was on the show all the time, and I said, have you ever been influenced by advertising and bought something? And Laura says, nope, not once.
Bullshit.
I've never bought anything because I saw an advertisement. I was like, dude, I just bought Little Caesars the other day because the commercial came on like 40 times, and now I'm hungry. I just wanted some shitty pizza
across the street.
Yeah, that also helps. But yeah, I guarantee that whether you think you have or not, you are directly influenced by advertising.
Oh, definitely.
In some way or another. Subconsciously, even.
I hate advertising just as much as I hate DoorDash.
I think, which one, if you had to pick, do you hate more?
Advertising.
Yeah, I agree. Did you have something else too? You had a couple things, or was that the main thing?
I had one other thing. I was reading that the Trump administration is releasing the alien files.
I saw that too, man, and it's all because of Obama. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama, for saying the aliens are real, but there's still no proof of them.
Yeah, I didn't even see the original thing.
I
but
just saw what he said.
I saw him do his other thing and said he's like clarified that with how big the universe is, it's highly probable that there's another form of life out there.
Of course. I mean, I fully believe that.
Yeah.
But the chances of aliens finding us is so small.
Yeah, unless they've got some crazy technology.
Yeah.
But it's all a distraction.
No, I was just going to say that. Distraction from what?
Yeah.
Let's see where to begin. The Epstein files.
The Epstein files? Oh, boy.
I don't really know if the average American gives a shit about the Epstein files, though, really. You know, they're already... Like, yeah, it's a horrible thing, sure, but like the sensation the media makes out of it, I don't think that the normal American is like, I need to know what's in there. Well,
and that's the thing, is a lot of people do that, and just because somebody's name is in the Epstein files doesn't necessarily mean that they were involved with doing weird things with kids.
And there was always like this comparison that people make to, because of how polarizing the whole thing is, people are like, oh, did you hear that Donald Trump's name was mentioned more in the Epstein files than the word God in the Bible? It's like, that makes no sense to any argument that we're talking about.
Well, it's like, I saw one headline, it's like Joe Rogan talked about in the Epstein files.
Okay.
And you read the article and it's like Epstein reached out to somebody saying he wanted to get in touch with Rogan. So that guy reached out to Rogan. Rogan basically said, tell Epstein to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
And the guy addressed back and said, Rogan said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And that was like the entire thing. But the whole headline was like, Rogan mentioned in Epstein files. And it's like, it was mentioned that Rogan was telling Epstein to go fuck himself.
Yeah. Well, we know how Ches feels about that.
But it blows everything out. I mean,
it's the same thing with like, my opinion is that like everybody's just got too much time on their hands now, man. Like, just go live your life. Go outdoors, man.
Go touch grass.
Yeah, seriously do. Like, especially now when we still have grass in February for some reason. Like, what the hell? I thought I was gonna have to mow my lawn, dude. But
you might have to.
Like, eventually, I will.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy because I've said this before on the show, and back in the day we had a Flat Earther on the show, which we did a 2-hour long episode with, which is even more crazy because his dad's an airline pilot.
Yes.
So it's like, dude, are you out of your mind?
I think he was military before he was airline too.
We were trying to like wrap our head around like how you could like truly believe that. And the one thing that I know about everybody who has an opinion on conspiracies or like really digs too deep into something, you just have too much time on your hands, man.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there fixated on this one thing. And guess what's so cool about the internet? No matter what you believe, you're going to find something that backs up on a webpage somewhere your ideas.
There's a term for that.
What?
Confirmation bias.
But yeah, confirmation bias, 100%. And you'll find that no matter you'll find some obscure Facebook group that just is so into what you're looking into, and there's 13 people in it. You're like, I knew it. Yeah, I was one of the 13 that figured it out.
Yeah.
And then you can just reaffirm yourself of something that's totally incorrect until you are delusional about it.
It was like, I remember years ago there was a viral, I guess you could say it was viral, email thing going around about
Nigerian print scam.
No, dihydrogen oxide. And how detrimental this stuff is, and how I
vaguely remember,
and how it causes all these problems. It's water.
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's like, it kills so many people, and it
every now and then, like, and I mean, technically, water does kill quite a lot of people.
Yes,
drowning is a thing. But I think it is like every now and then things pop up like that where they gain traction as a conspiracy, and then you find out they just fooled everybody. Like, idiots, see, And I think there's a lot of things that people look into that's probably 100% truthful, and then it's like kind of batted away or distracted away by something else,
Exactly.
But we've said it a million times. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Go outside. Hang out with the homeless
Abraham
guy.
Lincoln taught us that one.
Yeah. Oh, man. You just reminded me of, like, there's that Rhett and Link show on YouTube. And I think they set it up, but they asked, like, their other kids on the show, and they're like, if you could ask Abraham Lincoln anything, what would you ask him? And his kid goes, want to go to a play? They're like, what the hell? Oh, man. Well, I don't know the world we live in, man. It starts to get scary. But I mean, from like, if I want to associate it to James being here and what you do, I mean, technology plays a huge factor in keeping everybody safe, and like, it's not all bad. And a lot of it, like, is stopping problems before they start, and that's kind of huge. And these flock cameras, the only point of bringing up that they're so insecure and that they're tracking all this stuff is because, like, as a human beings, you have a right to certain privacy, right? And like, you didn't necessarily agree to that flock camera being there or being tracked, but you are anyway. And so, like, the whole point is to just let people know that's happening, and then make sure the company handles that right, Because I don't know if I want, like, one article or one piece of information was brought up is that there's a flock camera by a park. And so what's stopping somebody who's like a child predator from finding this information and then just watching a live feed of children playing at a park, and then notices there's no adults around that happens to be down the street or whatever, or a criminal like monitoring a business or casing a joint, and then they're like, oh, I can just sit at home and watch this all day and then figure out a schedule or something. So, like, security measures need to be taken to make sure that information is kept to the people that need to see it.
Yeah. But, I mean, the whole right to privacy is a myth.
It is, kind of, in a lot of ways.
I mean, you have no absolutely zero right to privacy in public.
Nope. Not in public, no. But, I mean, like, if it's the same thing as, like...
I didn't give you permission to be on your camera.
Yeah.
Well, you walk down a public street, so sorry.
That's fair. And what's really interesting is when I had the meth head neighbors that gave me so much good content for the show, but they're probably still around somewhere. I asked the police, like, I put up cameras, but I don't want to, like, blatantly point it at their front yard. And the cop said, you can. The front yard's a public space.
Yeah.
But he said, I would probably just not do that in the backyard, right? And it's like, okay, so then, the line of privacy becomes pretty gray.
Yeah.
Because it's like, technically I'm outside, but I'm in my backyard. And I know if I'm in my backyard, I kind of expect a little bit of privacy.
Right.
Like, I don't want my neighbors pointing a camera over their fence in my backyard. That's weird.
Right, yeah.
And the flock cameras, they're on a pole. They're above everything, man. They see everybody's backyards, front yards, whatever, They're trying to see as much as they can.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that, like, technology is starting to advance so fast that we're falling behind on the things that we should, like, as human beings, just be decent about. But man, as a collective, we're pretty shitty.
Yep.
People suck. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Somebody else come up with another topic. You got 4 minutes. Should we just have 4 minutes of silence?
Yep.
No other topics?
I got nothing.
So we are just going to sit here for 4 minutes.
Yeah, right.
No, that's okay. We can just end it a little bit early.
We went
Thanks,
a few
James.
minutes late in the first half. So
thanks for coming out, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it.
Coming on short notice too. Or I guess you kind of volunteered last night, so appreciate that. It's always nice having like an extra person in the room to bounce ideas off of. And hey, go check out that training facility and maybe go ice skating there and support the teams in Utah that we know and love, even if they don't win the NBA championship. Okay, they're still players and human beings.
Yeah, they're in competitions, so you can take last place.
Hey, last place also
Yeah.
also a good thing because
they
got first draft pick, right?
They did get fined $500,000 for it, so
that's fine.
Yeah, they deserve it now.
Yep.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Weekly Insult. We will catch you next time.
All right.
Man, maybe we'll make it one episode without talking about the internet or flock cameras or advertising.